Hello, this is Google. Welcome back to Feed the Beast Interactions, and apparently I have died. In fact, I'm pretty sure we just starved to death because I had opened it up Minecraft ready to go, and then I left it to sit for a while, then I was dead. But anyways, today I did a little bit of stuff off camera. Quickly go over that. So I did the medium voltage components, so like motors, pistons, etc., and automated most of the stuff that's needed to make those. And I also did the bulk crafting recipe or bulk crafting quest for both the medium voltage circuits and the medium voltage components. So I did all these and claimed all that stuff. You wouldn't believe how much these motors are costing to make now. 2x copper nickel wire. That's 1 copper nickel ingot each. Still 1x copper cable. So this is 4 copper nickel ingots, 1 copper ingot, 1 aluminum ingot, and then half a steel ingot. Kind of a lot of metal. And they only get like more expensive as we go up. Yep. But anyways, so I made all those. And then I also did chassis crafting. Oh yeah, I set up a couple of machines to use the logistic pipe chassis instead of the whole crafting manager satellite pipe and result pipe setup. Just because these machines are not going to be using a lot of recipes. So like in the polarizer, for example, I have magnetic steel rods and magnetic iron rods. And then over here, I also set up the arc furnace. That was another thing on my checklist right now. Arc furnace. So let's see. Whoops. Check those off. Arc furnace is currently doing, we've got wrought iron from iron ingots, and we've got steel from wrought iron, and we have annealed copper from copper ingots. And this is just doing, oxygen, and I pre-supply oxygen. This is also a big stainless steel cell of oxygen that I got from the arc furnace quest, so that's going to last us for a while. Just manually doing the oxygen until we get later better sources for oxygen. And then I also set up a miner stocking setup over here. So one of our modular storages, I went down under and I went into the chassis pipe and I put an active supplier module. And in this active supplier module, I just gave it a list of items to keep stored. So whenever it runs low on these items, it's just going to craft more of them. I suppose I should also put circuits in here as well. Let's do like 4 circuits, 4 LV circuits and 4 MV circuits. So now if we have those items, it's just going to pull them in. Looks like we already had them. But if we have not enough of those, oops, didn't mean to pull out XP there. We have not enough of those, so if I go ahead and go to circuit, and I request all 5 of the circuits I have, I'm going to get those 5 circuits immediately, but then the pipe's going to be like, oh no, we don't have enough circuits stocked, so I'm going to craft some more right now. And yeah, that's how that works. Pretty nice setup there. That way we're not going to be waiting on stuff as much when we just go to craft random stuff. It's going to be like having stuff already ready to go. But yeah. And then since I made annealed copper ingots now craftable, I also did fine annealed copper and annealed copper wires, and then I set up whatever is used to make those. What do we use to make those? I use the vacuum tube recipe that makes those. And then what else? Circuit assembler, we're not using anything for annealed in there yet. But what else? There was something else in the assembler. We will be making those eventually. The diode recipe was already using annealed wires, but now we have an actual source for them. And the resistor recipe, that was the one that I set up because we were just using just this recipe before with 4 copper wire to 2 resistors. Now we're using 4 annealed to 4 resistors, so double the efficiency of those. And yeah, that's gonna be more or less what we did today. I didn't make a list of what we're gonna do today, but I am thinking. And did our circuits craft up already? Yep, see it crafted up our circuits and then stuck them back over there. Well, now I can just dump in the rest of my circuits. What I wanted to work on was two things. So I wanted to work on extruders for MD, and then also clay automation. So in order to do clay automation, we're going to be looking at using this flower called the clayconica. Hang on, looking at it closer, clayconia. And clayconia is a flower that basically it breaks nearby. No, it doesn't break nearby clay. It turns sand that is next to it into clay. And then you might remember a tidbit of information I said about liquid starlight is that when liquid starlight touches lava, it turns into sand. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to do starlight plus lava into sand. Then clayconia is going to do conia plus sand equals clay. Then we're going to have to macerate clay dust, and then we can then go ahead and electrolyze clay, and then that's going to give us aluminum, American spelling of aluminum, lithium, sodium, I think, Na. Randomly start putting chemical symbols in here. What else does it give us? Clay dust. Silicon. Not silicone, silicon, the metal. Or, I guess it's not a metal, right? It's a, what is it even called? Hold on. Like metalloid? Is that what it's called? I'm pulling up a periodic table. Metalloid, yeah, that's what it is. They're on the border between metal and non-metals. So yeah. And that's all that it gives us. Oh, also gives us water, but we're just gonna throw the water into a liquid trash can in all likelihood because water is like not a valuable asset. So that's the clayconia thing, but let's start with the extruders because I'd like to have extruders to be able to make some recipes for us a little bit easier. Namely, that's going to be, let's see what all we would want to make in an extruder. So let's look at aluminum bar. Aluminium bar. Ingot. Sorry, I spelled it right, but put the wrong dang item name. So where's extruder? Extruder right here. Okay, so long aluminum rods. Long rods, we can make them with a lathe plus a forge hammer instead. So that is worth considering. Rings is something we cannot make without an extruder or without this. So I think rings is going to be something we want to do in our extruders for sure. Blocks we can compress. Pipes of any kind, specifically this size of pipe. Let me put the shape instead of the metal. Here we go. So pipes, rings, wires we have the wire mill for. Small gears is something we want. Large pipes, I don't feel like we're using a lot of large pipes in mass, so we can make those manually. Rotors, hold up. Hang on, I have lost the direction I was scrolling. Here we go. Rotors is a good one. Bolts are kind of nice, but we can make bolts with the cutting machine plus the lathe, so I'm going to skip that one for now. Rods as well we can do in the lathe. Plates we can do in the bending machine. The big gears, so big gears is one we want for sure. And that's kind of it as far as stuff that we kind of are going to need in mass. So we're going to want 5 extruders in total. And right now what I'm thinking is that I'm just going to put one steam turbine. Because as far as our power production goes, we are doing... I should check on how wood is doing. But we are doing... 760 liters per tick of steam, or we can just say it's, let's just put it up to 100%. So we are doing 800 liters per tick. That is 400 EU per tick. So 400 divided by 32. lets us do 12.5 generators. So right now we are doing, we have 4 generators for each of our, whatchamacallits, blast furnaces when they're actually running. So keep that in mind. So we have 8 over here, and then we have 4 over here. And then this one steam turbine, I crafted the steam turbine last episode. This is going to be the equivalent of basically the equivalent of 4 of them. So if everything's running at the same time, we'll be drawing 16 LV generators worth of power, and we can only support 12.5. But in all likelihood, we're not going to have everything running at the same time. So I think we're going to be fine, especially with these extruders. Since we're using one, how much power does this use also? Also, it doesn't use a whole lot of power. You can see this one uses 42. 42 on the MV recipes, right? So it's like not a great deal of power. 64 on the ring, on the small gears. What's the rotors use? I don't even know how you extrude this shape. I guess, I mean, I don't know. Like the mold has a dot in the middle of it. What? 64 on that. So in order to support those, I think we're going to do some batteries as well. So let's go and look at some battery options for MV. We can just make some cheap batteries. So let's just make some of these, what are they called? Medium battery holes. And since we're going to have 5 extruders, let's just have let's see, what are the power demands of these? So I think rotor and small gear is the highest power demand. Ring and pipes are lower power demand. So I think we only need like 3 batteries to have them on the 3 further machines from the generator. So let's just do like 3 batteries for now. Why don't we just do 5? I guess, you know. How are we doing on all this stuff? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? Let's just do 5 of them, right? And then we can either use cadmium, lithium, or sodium. So cadmium we don't have, lithium we don't have, sodium we don't have sodium? I thought we would have had sodium. Where can we get us some quick sodium real quick? I guess we can go ahead and maybe just throw... Do we have lazurite? Yeah, we have a ton of lazurite. We're going to need an electrolyzer to process that, though. So let's cook up an electrolyzer while these are coming in here. So electrolyzer, we need a medium voltage electrolyzer. This uses silver wires, which we should have automated. So everything in here we should already have copies of, so we shouldn't even need to make anything. Maybe it's got to make the silver wires, actually. Yeah, it's doing the silver. Okay, I'll just take a second. That'll take even half that time now that I sped that up. And there goes the silver wire. You know, I was thinking maybe I should like make a hole in the bottom so that instead of the item having to go all the way here, then down, then over, then up, you can just go like down and over and up when I'm just crafting it directly. That might not be a bad idea, actually. Let me see how I can route that without being too chaotic over here. I'm thinking, let's move this up here. That still should reach my, this distillery here for making distilled water. Oh, and something I forgot to mention, since we put the blast furnace where the distillery was making water, I put a bunch of creosote oil in the distillery to make lubricant, and I put that in the cutting machine. So right now the cutting machine has lubricant instead of distilled water. That makes it a little bit faster. And then let's get some basic. We need a basic pipe and then some unrouted pipes. Like, yeah, 20 is probably way more than enough. Maybe another basic pipe. I don't know how many intersections we're going to have. Oh, not 20 of them. Oh, man. Okay, well. Okay, well. I guess that's not the worst thing in the world. It's just some red alloy wires. Alright. Why is a plunger in my inventory? Plunger should be in my tool belt. Insert the tool belt. And then also the wire cutter as well. The wire cutter I had to do the recipe for, so I took it out of my tool belt. There we go. Okay. Grab my pipes and throw them on the floor, I guess. No, I meant go down here. This will only take a second, that's why I'm just not pausing this or anything. And I've fallen into the basement. Alright, so now if an item comes off the bottom and it's just going to our storage, it can just come straight back here and just have a quicker path to get back to the table. Alright, how are these battery alloys like extra slow to compress? I mean, a little slow, 9 seconds each. Alright, and our electrolyzer's ready to go. Here it is. And I think that's a quest, yep. Get some clay. Oh, and we get some LV circuits. And the LV reward gives us another reward of more circuits. Yeah, we shouldn't actually be able to make these yet, is the thing. Ooh, blueberry muffin. We actually need food, so... I'll just throw those in storage for now, but normally to make these we have to use the circuit assembler, and then we have to use these, this CPU, and a plastic circuit board, which we definitely can't make because we don't have plastic, we don't have, what's the other options here? Polyvinyl chloride, we don't have polyethylene, we don't have anything to make this stuff yet, so kind of a little jump on there. What is this AND gate? Or not AND gate, not AND chip is... We have to use a simple system on a chip with either plastic or good circuit boards. And we also don't have the MV circuit assembler, so... What's the reward over here? It's like a cup of tea. Okay, well, I can eat a cup of tea, I guess. Oh, that gives us speed for 30 seconds. Yay. Cool. So I think we are good to send those back to storage. We have our electrolyzer. Let's get some pipes. Small amount of pipes should be fine. Oh, I also forgot to mention, I didn't have it in my list of things we did last time, but I did some configuration changes on the one probe. The one probe is the mod that's at the top of the screen here. It shows that information. And I removed some of the debug information that was showing up in the machine. Like before it would show up like, hey, the last updated time and the worst updated time and all this junk. And then if we'd be looking at like wires, it would show a bunch of junk information on the wires. And I'm just like, you know what, we're not about that life. We don't need all that junk. So I removed that. And then I also fixed the weather, because there was a bug in the dimensions configuration that made it so that weather never occurred in the overworld. Right now it's set for weather to not occur in the void world, but I've also set weather to be reoccurred in the overworld, which I guess I'll have to see how that looks like on camera. But as of now, if we look at game rule do weather cycle, it is set to true. And I haven't touched that since we opened the game, so it is now giving us weather. Anyways, okay, electrolyzer and extruder setup. I think we're gonna go along the back here. Like this is where our... I think we'll have our generator under the ground right here. And then our wires will run here. Oh, and we need, I totally forgot, we also need wires for MV machines. So in the LV, age, we used the mana infused cable, which is superconductors. The medium voltage equivalent is mana steel. So mana steel, how can we get that? Well, we're gonna have to take mana steel ingots, and oh, wouldn't you know it, actually it is pretty easy. We're just going to dump wrought iron, steel, or mana into a mana infusion pool. Or stainless steel, but we don't have that yet. So we're just gonna, I think we're gonna do the mana infused ingot. So let's go ahead and, oh, look, we have exactly one. Maybe I should get like some steel and make a few more of those as well. I think like 4 of them is going to be fine because they're going to turn to 8 ingots and that'll turn into 16 wires, so that'll be good. Let's see how much mana this uses here. Oh, and I also forgot I took my creosote away. That was a lot of mana. Oh, buddy. Okay. We might not actually be able to do all of these right now. Honestly, to be determined if there's even enough mana in this setup right now to do that. Nope, there is not. You know what? We can just take a single bucket of creosote oil. Not creo. Bucket. You could also use an oil bucket, but I'm saving that for when we make... I think we're probably going to end up making another one of those Petra petunias at some point, so I'm saving that for those. Go ahead and just grab a creosote oil bucket from down here in our basement. I don't know why I walked down here when we can just yoink up the floors. And, you don't actually... You can't place a creosote bucket in the world, huh? Well, at this point I look silly because I should have just grabbed the drum, but... We can also go ahead and make our batteries, but we cannot fill them yet. We're also going to need one more copper cable. I guess the electrolyzer probably stole one of our copper cables there. Alright, please drink your creosote oil and make us our last ingot. Yay, okay. Mana steel ingots. Now we can turn them into wires in the wire mill. I'll speed that up a bit. What is in here? Stone and magnetite. I don't remember what I was processing. Wait, do I? Was I processing vanadium magnetite? Ah, yes, I was. Okay. Let me set this to centrifuge as well. Because it actually centrifuges into more vanadium and more magnetite, so... and then stone dust we do not need. Let's just throw that out of there. Alright, let's grab our wires. Now we're going to have to put these with rubber in them, so let's get some rubber. Bars are fine, I guess. So 16 rubber bars. One thing that just occurred to me, hang on, sheet. How do we make rubber sheets? Fluid solidifier. We could unpackage wires, which would be kind of funny. Alloy smelter is not this way to go. Block of rubber. Okay, that's interesting. I'm seeing kind of a funny thing we could do. So we could use our setup that makes rubber, make bars instead of sheets. I see this solution here too, but I don't really want an extruder shape just for making the rubber sheets. What I'm thinking is we could set our chemical reactor over here to make bars instead of plates. Then with the bars, we could turn the rubber into, not that extruder, we can use the rubber to get rubber rings. I don't think we use rubber thin sheet in this pack. We don't use rubber bolts. What even is a rubber bolt and a rubber screw? What? Rubber rod is not a thing we use, I don't think. And rubber gear we don't use. Yeah, so that would be an extra step just to make it so we have rubber rings available, which is used in kind of a decent handful of things. The other way to get rubber ring is to cut a rubber sheet. Maybe I'm overthinking that one. Maybe we just cut rubber sheets with a knife. Got totally derailed there. Here we go. Let's make our mana steel cables. Gonna speed that up over there. And that finishes our MV superconductor quest, which gives us another 8 cables. So now we have a total of 24. These are going to go, we're going to have our turbine right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extruders is what we're going to have. But for now, I'm going to throw an electrolyzer here. And then let's get our lazurite. I do not know the ratio at which this electrolyzes. Let's see. Oh, and we're probably going to need to hook steam up to that turbine, eh? Let's see. We are right here. That is not too far out of the way. Let's just go ahead and do plop, plop, and then, oh, we need to one-way the pipes. Break that one really quick. We're going to one-way this pipe, one-way this pipe, and then this last pipe does not need to be one-wayed. And there we go. We are making MV power, first MV power. Now that's going to really quickly drain steam compared to, like, other stuff. But we are now using steam, or not steam, MV power for the first time. And there we go, look at that, lazurite. And what is this using in here exactly? It is using 14 for operation. So let's, it also makes calcium, which is kind of like, we don't super need calcium. But we can speed this up just once right now, because we only have one generator here. And there's enough sodium for a battery. And then batteries go in the canning machine. Whoops. 20 seconds and we will get a battery there. There's enough sodium for a second battery. What other, do we have a lot of other dust? Let's look at our dust really quick to see if we have anything else we can kind of do stuff with here. Dust, so we can do something with vanadium magnetite. We can put that in the centrifuge. Lapis dust we have a lot of. What can we do with lapis dust? I think we have to centrifuge it first. Oh no, we electrolyze it and then it turns to more lazurite, which is already what we're working with. Lazurite and sodalite, but not as much sodalite. Let's just leave our lapis dust alone then. Any other dust that we have like a lot of? Sodalite we have a fair amount of. That has aluminum, silicon, and sodium, and chlorine. Okay. Chlorine's a gas, so let's hold off on processing that one. I'm just looking to see if we have any other sources of stuff. Lazurite is good at the moment. Cobaltite for arsenic. That one's a maybe. We'll come back to that one. I think this is all elemental dusts up here, yeah. Okay, let's do more lazurite for now. Vanadium magnetite, we can also do another stack to go in our centrifuge. Alright, vanadium magnetite go. And let's just keep this going with lazurite. Got more sodium, more batteries. Let's put a battery in here. Oh, just kidding, they don't work when they're stacked. There we go. So just like our other batteries, I believe they're going to last for 125 seconds once fully charged. Actually it looks like it's going to be more. Oh, it literally says right there, 140 seconds. Okay. Well, I can read, so. But yeah, we've got our first silicon, a bunch of aluminum, we've got some calcium even. I don't know what we're going to use calcium for right now, but we got some. We can even go and be like, yo, remember how we said we can't afford to run all these at the same time? Well, let's do it. Here you go, aluminum. Go get them, aluminum. How's our steam supply looking? Ow, ow. Okay, we're okay. The pipe at the end there. Okay, I'm going to stop standing in the pipe. The pipe here at the bottom is doing okay, but we can see the tank here is slowly losing ground, so we are right now slightly running a little bit on a deficit of steam. Maybe not, actually. We're not using, like, everything right now. We're using this is using a little less than 4 because it's using 120. So it's using like 4 generators minus like half an amp. So it's actually using not half an amp. Yeah, half an amp. So it's using 11.5 amps to run this. And then this one over here is using like 2 amps. So there should be like almost no deficit at the moment. How's our wood situation going? Mineral wood is not looking too hot actually. And then I also started sending rubber wood down here. Yeah. So running the steam boiler on max energy actually kind of destroys our wood supply. We can do this for a temporary respite of wood, but like in the long run, we're gonna have to figure out something else, or we're gonna have to just turn the steam boiler down if we want to not have like a constant deficit of wood, because it's gonna keep burning wood even if we're not using the steam. Unless we have like a really, 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 really big tank, because just turning this on and off, it like takes too long to heat up, so I don't want to do that. But if we had a really, really big tank to make a really big buffer, what's mana infused huge pipes look like? Capacity 240,000 liters. That is quite the capacity. That is like, how long would that even take for this thing to fill? At 800 liters a tick? That would take 240,000 divided by 800 per tick divided by 20. That would take like 15 seconds to fill one up. So like if we put a few of those, that could kind of act as a buffer, to be honest. We might do that. And then I could set like a RS latch on the bronze boiler to turn on and off as it needs. Don't know. I'll think about it. We'll solve it if it becomes a problem. How about that? Alright, lazurite is looking good over here. Do just a little bit more, just because our electrolyzer is currently available. Soon we're going to move this electrolyzer down and do clay with it, and then we're never going to have the electrolyzer available ever again. We can even speed it up now that we have the battery in here. So it's draining our battery now. But it is running. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and grab all of the metals as well. We have enough to finish our last battery now. Alright, let's work on the extruders next. So this is going to be done canning here momentarily. Throw all of our extra dust over here. We don't need any more of those. We don't need any more of those. I don't know why I have this. I don't know why I have this. I don't know why I have that. I do know why I have that, but I don't need it anymore. Don't need the candles either. Okay, extruder. We want 5 extruders. And I'm also going to steal this rotor plate over here. Is there an extruder shape for nuggets? There is not. Okay, nuggets is the alloy smelter only. So here we go, 5 extruders. Oh dear. Can we make 5? No, we can't make any. Cool. So we're gonna need Cooper nickels, first of all. Oh, we have a bunch of Cooper nickel from the, what's it called? The bulk MV quest. So we have a bunch of those already ready to go. So we're gonna need 4 times 5, so we're gonna need 20 of these. So there we go. Boom. There's our Cooper nickel cables. And then what else did it say we need? Small aluminum gears. Oh, right. I had not made those yet. Let us go ahead and make some. And we are going to need my wire cutter. Maybe that's why I put my wire cutter in here. Just 5 of them, right? Yeah, just 5. Get my wire cutter off my tool belt for a moment. I mean, honestly, I'll just leave it in here until we otherwise actually need them, I guess. And then we also needed steel fluid pipes. 5 steel fluid pipes, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go ahead and craft these up. Go ahead and craft up our piston. Has the gear in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gears. Those need to be in storage because it has to craft the pistons. And extruder. Nope, extruder over here. Put the recipe back into our window, and then can we request, oh, send the pipes back as well. One, nope, pipes aren't back in storage. Here, let's try again. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, rubber sheets we're out of. I guess this would be a good time to teach our system how to make rubber sheets. So I'm going to use a chassis over here to do rubber sheets. And here's how I'm going to do it. Grab my batteries really quick. So let's just use a chassis, and it's going to be a low tier chassis, just like a Mark 1 is fine. And then we're going to need a satellite logistic pipe. Actually, yeah, that's exactly what we need. And we are going to need one crafting module, which we don't seem to have any modules, so let's just make a crafting module. And then I'm also going to need a upgrade. A disconnection upgrade is actually exactly what I need. You will see why in a moment. Alright. I'm just looking, make sure I actually took everything out that I needed. I think this is everything I needed. Alright. So we're going to put our chassis on this machine, because this is going to be actually making the rubber sheets. And we're going to put a satellite over here. And I'm going to put a disconnection upgrade in here, and then with the pipe controller, go in here and tell it, hey, do not connect. Alright, so that's not going to accidentally send items into the canning machine. And then in here, we are auto-outputting the fluid into the basic fluid solidifier. And the basic fluid solidifier has mold plates, so that's what we want. And the recipe is going to have to get chiseled first. Whoops. Change that back to a base item. Chisel this to crafting. Put the recipe chip in here, and this is going to make rubber sheet. It's going to make 9 of them. Whoops. 9 rubber sheets, and that's going to make it from 9 rubber pulp. Whoa, buddy. Oh, hey, my mouse wheel is like randomly working suddenly. Oh, you know why it's working? It's because I have the actual item in my inventory. Whoa, what's going on with the item in my inventory, though? Oh, it's like getting thrown out of my... No, I think it just like deleted my item, maybe. Anyways, and we need 1 sulfur dust. That's the recipe, right? Sulfur plus raw rubber makes 9 sheets worth of rubber. Yes, that is correct. Okay. Oh, except I messed this up. The sulfur has to go over here, and the rubber pulp has to go here. Hello, can you just like take the stack of 9? Oh man, come on. Did I just like duplicate that? I thought I just had 10 a second ago. I'm very confused on what's happening here. Now we have 13. And we still have 13. I don't know. Whatever. So this has to go into this satellite pipe, which I didn't name. So this is chem into solidifier. Chem into solid, sure. And this is going to go into chem into solid. There it is. Select. And now let us see if you can request a rubber sheet. And will you do it properly? Oh, and we need to put basic pipes up there, but I'm not gonna mess with it now. I don't want the pipes to get like lost on where they need to go. Oh, the items made it in here. I didn't even realize they were already in this machine. So that makes the rubber goes over here and makes the sheets. So there's the one we requested. The rest are going to go somewhere. Oh, I guess it's using the rubber to make copper cables. Okay, well, I guess we need to upgrade rubber, and I didn't even realize it. But yeah, there's our rubber sheets. Now we can finally request 2 more of these guys. And it's going to need a second because it's going to actually need to go and request the rubber to make the wires, I guess. Yep, lots of stuff just zooming around. Look at it go. We can actually go here and we can watch. I put if you go in the pipe controller, there's something called a crafty monitor upgrade you can put inside of your request table, and that lets you look at this list here. So this one is doing an aluminum plate and piston, so we can go and we can see where it is doing the stuff. So there, the piston just crafted, piston's on its way. And, oh, it's done. Okay. Here's our 5 extruders. Let's go. Extruder alert, yeah, sure. Alright. Got tons of dust from this electrolyzer. Gonna just remove the electrolyzer for now. This is gonna become all extruders now. Now we're not gonna be having a whole lot of extruder recipes per extruder, so I'm thinking just to use chassis pipes for these as well. And I'm thinking just to do, let's do Mark III. Mark III has 4 slots, I believe. Yeah, 4 slots. So we do have Mark IV already. How much does Mark IV have? Mark IV has 5 slots? Has 6 slots. Let's just do Mark III, and if we end up having to upgrade him, I mean, it's not the end of the world. 5 extruders means we need 5 pipes, and then now we're going to need recipes to go with these. And we're also going to need 1 more raw shape plate, so let me make 1 more of these real quick. Steel plate should be on the way. Alright. So we decided we are going to be making rotors, small gears, big gears, rings, and then regular pipes. And then we decided that rings and regular pipes need the least power, so rings are going to go first. The slot doesn't matter, but it does have like a semi-specified slot. So pipes, and then everything else kind of uses more power, so here we put big gears, small gears, and rotors. Alright, now we need our chassis pipes. Let me grab a handful of these guys. Routed pipes as well. Chassis pipes are coming along. I don't remember why this takes so... Oh, it's just like a multi-layer craft. It probably has to do a bunch of alloy smelting. Yeah. Here, alloy smelter, I will power you up. Just looking at this really quick. Are you waiting for something here? Why are you glowing? I'm a little confused on why it's glowing. There might have been a problem, like it requested too much or something. Let me do a quick manual craft of some rubber. $63 and $7. Just make sure this is not having some kind of weird problem. This doesn't auto output, so I'm not sure what the error here would have been for it to like lose a craft, unless it got like lost in these pipes here, which I still need to replace. That's why I got the basic wires here ready to go. Yeah, like look, it's taking all of the rubber plates as if it's requested like a ton of them or something. Very strange. Like, where are these going? Slightly confused. That's okay. We'll come back and check on that in a second. For now, let me fix these pipes. Make them basic pipe. That should fix the routing issues it might have been having. And then let's get these hooked up here. I think I'm just going to go ahead and break this pipe here, put that pipe there, and now we can route this across here, and then we'll have all of our chassis pipes now. Alright, there's all of our chassis pipes. Alright, and then now we can start making stuff. So rings. What kind of rings do we like to use? Let's look through rings really quick. So we're not going to need rings for rotors anymore. We might need rings for pressurized tanks at some point. So let's do aluminum maybe. Gold rings. I don't really see a whole lot of uses for gold rings that we're going to want, like in recurring need. So let's pass that. Iron ring, yeah, let's do iron rings. That's going to be one that we need a bunch of. So iron ring, lead ring, platinum ring, silver ring, tin ring, titanium ring. I feel like there were more uses for some of these. Like, I don't know, I'm just looking at this, I'm like, I don't feel like we're going to need a great deal of those, to be honest. Like a power thruster. Oh, there's a lot of recipes for iron rings in this. Oh, it's to make restrictive pipes, though, which are not super needed. How about instead of going one by one through this, I go and I just go check the recipes manually, so I'll be back in a moment. Also, fun thing worth noting, I didn't realize I had something on top of my mic, so hopefully it hasn't sounded like really quiet or muffled this whole first half of the video, but I got it fixed now. You're welcome. Oops. Okay. Anyways, I'll continue checking recipes. Okay, I am back from picking out recipes. Because we are using the Mark III chassis, we only have 4 slots each, so I limited it to 4 picks each, but I picked, I think, what's going to be our 4 most used items from each mold. So let's go ahead and let's see. In total, we have I ended up picking 4 pipes, 4 rings, 4 rotors, and then 3 gears of each type. So that should be a total of 18. Looks like we need more modules. So let's go ahead. I think these are crafted in sets of 8, right? So let's go ahead and craft up a bunch of these. We are going to do just mass recipe setting here. So let's go ahead and grab aluminum. Do I want to do it by metal, maybe? Yeah, let's do it by metal. So we're going to have 4 aluminum things. They're going to take aluminum ingots, and then one is going to make aluminum rings times 4. One is going to make aluminum rotor times 1, but we need 4 ingots. One of them is going to make aluminum gear, but that needs 4 as well. Yep, aluminum gear by 4, and then the last one's going to make small gear with 1. Okay, so here is small gear, big gear. I forgot what this one is. Rotor. Rotor's over here, and then the ring is the first one. Okay, so there's some of them already. I forgot how many of these we needed. I think 4 more? 2 more or 4 more? Let's just get to the... Just get the rest of them out of the way. So steel needs steel, 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 steel. So we need 5 steel things. So steel ingots. And then for steel, we are going to be doing steel. Oh gosh, this is going to be a little annoying, huh? How about instead of doing all this on camera, I just come back when I'm done with all of it? Okay, we are back in a minute. We are back, and I totally forgot to mention that it's raining out there. Wow. I know the first time seeing rain. I do have the rain noise is really quiet, so hopefully it's not, like, over me or anything. Alright, I'm just about done here. I only had a few items left, so I figured I would tune back in and finish it up here. So we're doing stainless steel, and I know we can't make stainless steel stuff yet, but we will be able to soon, and I have unstacked these on accident. We need 6 more, so we do in fact need to chisel 2 more of these really quick. 4 more, I mean. Alright, so we need 3 stainless steel ones, so stainless steel. The steel, like regular steel, was kind of annoying just because there's a lot of different types of steel. But here we go. Here is the rotor. Whoops, I've done all of them as a rotor. We need small stainless steel gear. It looks like there's 4 stainless steel ones, and I cannot count. Okay, well, small stainless steel gear, and this is only 1. Regular stainless steel gear is 4. And then pipes as well, so stainless steel fluid pipe. And I just removed one that I meant to have on here. So stainless steel pipe is 3, and it makes 1 stainless steel fluid pipe. Alright, so stainless steel is done. Nickel ferrite is something we're going to be using for circuits, so that's why I'm going ahead and grabbing this one. So ferrite. So nickel ferrite, 1 ingot makes 4 rings. Whoops. Come on. Alright, there we go. Nickel ferrite, 1 ingot, 4 rings. And then finally, we wanted to also do polyethylene fluid pipe. Because I feel like that's used for something. Something or other. Yeah, it's used for HV chemical plants. So we will want that. Okay, so polyethylene chemical plant. Polyethylene is going to be 1 of these for 3, and we're going to use the pulps, and you'll see why once we actually get there, but there we go. Okay, so now looking at our stuff, we have aluminum, steel, iron, and nickel ferrite rings. We have steel, bronze, stainless steel, and polyethylene fluid pipes. We have aluminum, steel, and stainless steel gears. Room for 1 more in there. We have small aluminum, small steel, small stainless steel gear in here as well. Room for 1 more. And then in rotors, we have aluminum, steel, bronze, and stainless steel. So that's a lot of stuff we just automated over there, and we can like make sure it works, right? Aluminum small gear, aluminum gear, aluminum rotor. Like all of that stuff, it should just be like good to go. Oh, and also we have a lot of what's it called? Aluminum dust just from our, what's it called? Yeah, look at that. There it goes. Beautiful. We got struck by lightning over there. Oh boy. So here is the gear, the rotor, and the small gear we ordered. You'd love to see it, honestly. That's so nice. We have more aluminum just from all of our lazurite. Go ahead and put that down there to process. Alright. Really shaping up here. That's a really awesome addition there now. What's our glue situation? Glue is okay. Do we have more liquid glue in here? We do actually have more liquid glue just sitting in here. Let me grab this glue really quick. Throw it up there. Nice. Oh, great. Really? There's 50 millibuckets stuck in there? Well, how about you go ahead and craft one board. One basic... Oh, we have 52 of them? Well, can we get... Can you give me 53? Now you gotta craft one. Haha. Alright. Just to get that extra glue out of this tank. There we go. Alright. Okay, looking good. Not as much progress, though, today as I thought we were gonna do. I thought we were gonna, like, do the extruders and then do, like, half the clay automation. But there was one other thing I was wanting to do, and I totally forgot. Give me 1 second. Oh yeah, let's put these batteries in here. Because if multiple of these try to run at the same time, they're just gonna, like, not have enough power. So that's gonna drain our, it's gonna make our advanced steam turbine very angry for a bit. In fact, if we speed this up, what happens? It does, in fact, make power more, and it's probably draining the crud out of our steam supply over here. Oh yeah, this pipe over here is empty. Hopefully the pipes going to the electric blast furnaces aren't empty. Uh-oh. Oops. Well, that might be a problem for later me. That's okay. Once it stops being accelerated, it's going to be fine. And once these batteries are charged, it's also going to be fine. Anyways, I need to think, because there was one other thing I wanted to do on camera before I finish this episode, so give me a minute to figure that out. Kind of unrelated, but I just remembered that with a straw you can drink fluids, and I was like, let's go drink liquid starlight, and it gives you 5 minutes of night vision. So anyways, that's not what I was trying to remember, though. Let me see what else. I was just in my quest book collecting a bunch of different quest rewards and such. Like this luck saver, yeah, that's definitely a thing I need. Looks like it needs to be recharged. Yeah, let's just throw it in there. That actually does some pretty good damage, but I don't really, like, care about that. A lens? A pure lens, even? Nothing else in this chapter. Yeah, I'm not remembering what else I actually wanted to go and do today. So I think that's just where we're going to call it. And next time we're going to work on setting up... Oh, I have a lot of rewards in here to claim, huh? Next time we're going to go and work on setting up clay automation, I think, so that we can have a steady supply of aluminum. But until then, if you're enjoying the series, please leave, like, comment, subscribe, etc. And I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.